Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another Call of Duty Warzone video. In this video we're going to compare the CR-56 to the SCAR. This video will compare the overall stats of both guns and then the general feel of how both of the guns play in game. Before we get into this video, 97% of you have not subscribed to the channel, so if you want to see more Call of Duty videos like this one, definitely hit that subscribe button. And an extra benefit is that we definitely take into consideration comments down below, as this video was recommended by a subscriber. After playing a lot of Modern Warfare and Warzone with the CR-56, it's easily my favourite gun in the game now. It used to be the Ram 7, but it's definitely the CR-56. The damage is amazing, the recoil pattern's easy to control, and overall it's just a really good gun. My preference is high damage weapons, and this is why this comparison is quite interesting to see. One thing that's not mentioned on this stats page is the mobility for both of the guns. The CR-56 as well as the SCAR have the worst mobility in the assault rifle category. The small magazine capacity of 20 rounds inside the SCAR's magazine makes it really tough to recommend, especially inside Warzone. This can be extended up to 30 rounds, but if you compare it to the CR-56, that extends up to 45 rounds. The reload time on the SCAR is definitely much better, and this probably balances it out. However, inside Warzone, the larger magazine size is always more important. And to quickly mention, we all know now that the CR-56 has the lowest time to kill inside all of the assault rifles. Both of these guns are similar in a way, considering that they both have a very low time to kill. However, every other advantage does go to the CR-56 in terms of rate of fire, time to kill, and magazine size. The low reload time does mean the SCAR has an advantage inside Modern Warfare multiplayer. As we know, all these stats don't tell the full story, so let's take a look at the hipfire and recoil for both of these guns. First, taking a look at the hipfire for both of these guns, it's clear to see that with no attachments, the SCAR is definitely much better. Definitely keep in mind though that you do have a smaller magazine, so you won't be able to spray for as long as you would like. Now looking at the recoil patterns, we can see that the CR-56 goes upwards with a bit of side-to-side bounce, and the SCAR goes upwards and to the right. There's not much side-to-side bounce with the SCAR as there is with the CR-56. And that's probably a good benefit to the SCAR, is that you're going to be hitting more shots and not missing as much. On the base weapons, I think both of these guns actually have really good recoil patterns. I don't think you'll have too much trouble trying to control either of them, but this is expected from guns with low rate of fire. But if I had to pick one with a better recoil pattern, I'd actually go with the SCAR in this case, and the reason for it is that it has less side-to-side bounce, and it's the side-to-side bounce that is more difficult to control than the actual recoil pattern itself. So of course when you're playing a game of Warzone, you're not going to use these guns without any attachments, so let's add some of the best attachments to these guns, and then compare the recoil patterns again to see what changes. Going over the best Warzone attachments for the CR-56, we have the monolithic suppressor, the Zodiac barrel, the Commando foregrip, the VLK scope, and the 45 round mags. Going over the best attachments for the SCAR now, we have the mono suppressor again, the 20-inch barrel, the TAC laser, the 30 round mags, and the Merc foregrip. A few quick things to mention is that the VLK optic does actually help with horizontal recoil, especially on the CR-56. This is very useful, and you can definitely see on the screen the much improved horizontal recoil on the CR-56. In the first recoil pattern with the SCAR, there was a bit of a jump with the first two bullets, and the Merc foregrip has now eliminated that, as you can see on the screen here. And there's no reason to use a Commando foregrip here, as the SCAR actually has really good horizontal recoil anyways. So instead, if you want to use an optic, you can definitely go for a reflex optic if you really wanted to, or try out the VLK scope on the SCAR instead of the TAC laser. And again, obviously we can see that the CR-56 hipfire is definitely not as good as the SCAR. To sum this up, if we're talking about Warzone, the CR-56 has got to be one of the best guns in the game, and especially after the nerfs that are due to happen very soon, I can actually see it being probably the best gun inside Warzone. And even though the SCAR is really good inside Modern Warfare multiplayer, and it does have a really good damage profile with only 2 drop-off points, and also its really good recoil pattern, I still find it really tough to recommend, especially with that low magazine capacity, even with the 30 round mags. Don't get me wrong, the SCAR is a great gun, especially because it only has 2 drop-off points, so there's not much to worry about there. So I think the best place to recommend the SCAR would be Modern Warfare multiplayer or solos. I think that's the only exception to the rule. Other than that, I would stick to the CR-56. It's definitely going to be one of the more important guns, especially after this next update. Speaking of the next update, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button, because once the patches come out for each of the guns, the weapon metas are going to change, and we're going to cover all of that on this channel once the guns get updated. And if you hit that subscribe button, we can help you find the best gun in Warzone once the Grau gets nerfed. Click the link in the description to come and hang out with us on Twitter. We mention all of these topics before they even make it to a video. But that's all for today's video, and thank you very much for watching.